Just let me continue a few more slides. Now, everybody wants to know how we can make profit out of this. How can I be part of this project? Okay, it's an amazing project. How can I be part of it? Right? So, what is Sabina? Okay, right. Now, before we go further, so what's going to happen now is whatever the Sabina's evaluation is going to be in a year or two, the whole completion and evaluation of a tech project like this, it's going to take over a year or two, a maximum 2 years, all right, to have the maximum potential value. And from that total evaluation, the developers team is allocating us 20%, the participants or the crowdfunders, to enjoy 20% of its share, right? So I'm just going to give you a quick calculation. Don't have to see the screen right now. Just imagine if the evaluation, this is going to be the minimum. I'm going to talk a very pessimist amount, yeah? I'm going to talk about a very, very, very small, lower base value that Sabina can touch in the next 2 years would be 5 billion. If 5 billion USD, all right, and 20% of the valuation is given to us as shareholders, that's going to be 5 billion times 20%, it's going to be 1 billion. From that 1 billion, there will be 10,000 shares been given. All right. So if 10,000 shares, all right, 1 billion divided by 10,000 shares, one share could be pricing at 100,000 US dollars, right? So whoever has one share today, in the next 2 years, we are looking at least minimum it's going to be worth of $100,000. All right. Now I'm going to tell you, I'm going to tell you how we can take part of this. Okay. See what you saw from Mr. Rizwan and the development team is the basics of Sebina AI, but it needs more enhancements. It needs more plugins, more system behind it to be perfect. More research, a thorough research needs to be done, right? Therefore, they are opening up their 20% shares to AIPD, the project that we are doing now, the crowdfunding source right now. Okay, so let's jump straight into it. How can I participate? All right, so you and I, we can actually buy the shares, right? But you're not able to buy just the shares. Okay, so there's a package, right? For 1000 USD, you're going to get, hold on, yeah. For 1000 USD, you're going to get one share. For 3000 USD, you're going to get four shares. For 5000 USD, you're going to get 7, 15, and 50. All right. So this is the amount of crowdfunding that you're going to put in. You can choose, right? How many shares do you want? We just made a calculation just now. If one share can be 100,000 USD, you are only putting in 1,000 USD today. Now, I can even tell you guys, at worst case scenario, the price of a share, even if is $50,000 or even is $10,000 in the next 2 years, we are going to make profit out of it, right? So that is how you participate by putting in the USDT to get your shares. Now, a lot of us are going to ask me this question. So if I'm just going to put in 1,000 USD or 3,000, 5,000, 10,000, $30,000 and just wait for 2 years, is that it? Not only that, okay, you will be given PDO rewards, all right, while waiting. Okay, so you got the shares value can go up later. You can sell it to a third party outside there, or can sell it back to the company or your members. They can still buy the share at any price they want to, all right? So that is one side. A part of that, just because you have already bought the share, you will be getting PDO rewards, which is 0.1% to 0.5% per day. Now, does that sound interesting or not? Because you already got a share value that you're going to have in the next 1 or 2 years, right? On top of that, you're going to get a daily returns of averaging from 0.1% to 0.5%. Now, the question everybody's going to ask is, where are we going to get this money from, right? Remember, just now Mr. Rizwan was saying, we're going to have subscription, we're going to have more income revenues that's going to be coming in. All that will be shared here, all right, while waiting for this project to be full fledged, right? At the moment, it's 0.4% now, yeah. This project, at the moment, you're getting at 0.4% daily on your investment. If you're putting in $1,000 times by 0.4%, you are getting $4 per day. All right. So just do your maths for other packages. Right. How long will you get it? three times your investment, $4,000, 3.5 times your investment for $3,000, four times from your $5,000 investment, 4.5 times for $10,000 investment, five times for $30,000 investment. Right now, so you're talking about you'll be getting this 0.4% until, for example, if I'm talking about a $30,000 package, until you make $150,000, this 0.4% per day will be given to you, right? So this is you becoming a passive investors, right? Passive participant to this project. Now assume, let's say you would like to take up this project as your business or you want to refer your friends, right? There will be two bonuses for you. The first one is referral bonus, right? For level one, for whoever that you're introducing, you'll get 10%. And for level two, you'll get 20%. Not one time, but on a daily basis from their returns of, from their PDO rewards. So if this guy makes $4 a day, you introduce somebody, he makes $4 a day, you make 40 cents, right? If that guy makes $400 a day, you make $40. Level two is the person you brought in is your level one. If they bring their friends, becomes your level two, you get 20% here, right? So this is one income. The other income is the moment that you have joined, every one of you are introduced by somebody, correct? Every one of you didn't just wake up in a day and suddenly you are in the Zoom. No, you were invited by somebody, right? So whatever the person has invested, the person who introduced you has invested. Let's say I introduce you and I put in $30,000, for example, right? Depending on the amount of money that you're going to put in, let's say you put in $1,000, right? You will override 15% from my daily PDO rewards. Okay, let's just do the maths here. Let's take $30,000 and I get 0.4% per day, which is $120, right? From that $120, if I times by 5%, you will be getting $6 from considered your introducer. This is first of its kind project, yeah, because usually when we join, if we don't have any downlines or team members, we don't override any money. But here, the first day, you already override from your upline, from the person who introduced you, right? So if you put more higher amount, right, let's say you put in $30,000, you will be able to override up to 11% from your upline's daily bonus, right? The next income is we call ranking bonus. We have a total of 10 rankings, A1 to A10. All right. So it's quite simple. For you to achieve A1, your total group sales under your organization needs to be $10,000. Now, once if $10,000 been achieved, you probably brought in somebody who just put in $1,000. He brought in another person who puts in a $5,000. Another guy comes in and put in another $5,000. So your team now has $11,000. For example, you are already A1. So as a A1, what do you get? Whatever your group is making on a daily basis as profit, from that you will make another 10%. So if I combine my entire team makes, let's say, $1,000, or let's even say $200, okay, I make 10% from them, which is $20 every day. All right. And you'll be given extra one share. Remember just now, the share you have to buy, correct? Let's say you're not able to buy too many shares and you really want to get a share. You can also do by ranking up. As you rank higher and higher and higher and higher, you'll be given more free shares. One share for A1, two share for A2, A3, three shares, four shares, five shares, so on and so forth. Right? Now, how do you go to A2? A2, you need to have minimum two teams under you. You must have introduced one person, right? And you need to introduce another person. Two people under your organization and two teams that's moving needs to have two A1s under your team. That means one team needs to have one A1, the other team needs to have another A1. You already A2. Now you override 20% of your total team's daily income. All right. Moving on to A3, you need to have two A2s. You override 30%. Moving on to A4, you need to have two A3s and you override 40%. And A5, two A4s under your organization and you override 50%. A6, You need two A5, A7, you need two A6, A8, two A7, A9, two A8, A10, two A9s under two different teams. And you override 60%, 70%, 80%, 90%, and even 100% from the total team sales, right? But you have to remember, yeah. Let's say you are A10 and your downline becomes A9, all right? So he gets 90% from his team, right? You only get balance of 10%. You get the point? Okay? If your already downlines are ranking up, you just get the difference. And what happens if they become same ranking? Let's say I give you an example. You become A5 and your other downline also becomes A5 under your network. All right. You no longer override 50% from his entire team. You get 10% from your downline's A5 income. All right, so that's how it works. Don't worry, guys. For the first time, it might look very small or very not easy to understand, but eventually, this is a very, very, very simple program, and eventually, we can make a lot of money from this, right? And if you realize, just by achieving A10, you already collected in total another 55 shares. 10 plus 9 plus 8 plus 6, you just continue, yeah? Until 1. All right, that's another 55 shares. Okay, and when you add all this, if let's say one share goes to 1,000, it's $55,000. If one share goes to $100,000, that's $5.5 million. All right, only in share value, other than your networking income, right? So here, I would like to share with you another thing is this daily income we're talking about, you can withdraw, sorry, the daily PDO rewards, you can withdraw on a daily basis. All right, minimum you need to have $10. We do a withdrawal. There will be a 10% charges. All right, and it will be transferred to your wallet on a USDT basis. Hear me right, yeah? USDT BEP20. All right. So you need to give T plus one. Today you do withdrawal. Give plus one. Give it another day. Then you receive it on your wallet. Right. But anyhow, your networking. Okay. Now, a lot of people, I think most of you guys are leaders here. A lot of people have a concern when it comes to compensation plan. Right. Nelson, I'm very fine with the shares. I'm very fine with the daily returns. But the compensation plan, does it look overpaid? Is it a short term plan? No, guys. Why? One of the best ways we have found is this is a hybrid plan. Okay. When I say a hybrid plan, it means the first part of the shares and the USDT on the PDO rewards are paid to you in USDT. But on the plan, you are getting paid on USDA, right? What does this USDA means? You see, you only will get a networking bonus once you have a network, right? So once you have a network, doesn't matter 1, 3, 5, 10, 20, doesn't matter. Whatever the rewards you are getting here, you can use that to sign up a new member, dilute it to a new member. All right. Now, what happens in this is two powerful things happen. The one first thing is company can sustain longer. The whole mechanism and plan has been researched and can sustain extremely long. Second, this encourage you to get paid first, only then the company. How is it so? For example, today you have earned USDA networking bonus, $100,000, for example. You see, new people who's joining the project, you are going to use your points to dilute to them. When they join you, all right, you get paid first, only then the company. Usually it is, how does it work? All the money goes to the company and the company pays you. Here, you are the company by yourself. You pay the market, I mean, you pay the USD to the market, you get paid